What is going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. And today we're going to be breaking down the KUNKKA versus Pango mid matchup. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. If you guys do, leave a comment down below and let me know which one of these two is your favorite and who do you guys think wins this matchup. So overall, this is a pretty KUNKKA favorite matchup, but the Pango can actually trade very easily with the KUNKKA as well, so it's not a very one-sided matchup by any means. But the KUNKKA is always going to be quite strong because of Tidebringer, but Swashbuckle is a very big deal, and Shield Crash as well helps you secure the range creep and also does quite a bit of damage to the KUNKKA. But as a KUNKKA player, you should be able to X marks the spot and TP to base. That way you can refill your bottle. But first of all, I'm going to be breaking out your starting item builds for the KUNKKA and for the Pango as well. So as a KUNKKA, you should be starting out with Tangos, a Quelling Blade, a Branch, and then a Fairy Fire. You eventually upgrade into a Bracer and then get yourself Phase Boots and a Wand, and then you should start heading for items like Radiance. You could also go for Blade Mail. You can go for Aghanim Scepter. I think Blade Mail is quite nice, but I think Radiance is just very greedy, but it could definitely work. If your team composition is not very greedy and you're allowed the space to be able to play and get that Radiance, it'll be very nice in the long run because you can go Radiance Bloodstone with an Aghanim Scepter Refresher. It's going to be very difficult to kill you. For the Pango, you're going to be starting out with Tangos, a Branch, a Fairy Fire. You could start off with a Blightstone. You could also go with 3 branches and go really heavy on stats, but I feel like the Blightstone is very underrated against the KUNKKA. He's a low armor hero, so you could easily take advantage of that with Swashbuckle, and you can easily take better trades. You're going to force him to reset a lot more often with X marks the spot, and his TP is going to be on cooldown. And if you're able to force that at the 6-minute runes, it's going to be a really big problem for the KUNKKA as he relies on that rune to rotate. So does Pango. Make sure you're able to bring your supports to the lane to secure that 6-minute. It is going to be a really big deal, and you can eventually get pushed out of lane as KUNKKA is going to have a lot more resources than you just because he can TP to base. With X marks the spot, refill his bottle, refill his HP and mana, so you're going to have a lot of issues if you don't get some support rotations. And as the KUNKKA, you should always be applying pressure with your X marks the spot into Torrent combo. It's a really big deal, and also if you can land as many Tidebringers as possible, it's going to be very beneficial for you against the Pango. Keep him low, that way he doesn't feel confident enough to go on you, because the Pango does have kill threat on you. He will slowly waddle your HP down, and if X marks the spot is on cooldown or your TP's on cooldown, you could have a lot of issues. He can also easily dodge boat with a well-placed Swashbuckle. If he knows how to play this matchup properly, he can easily get away from boat. As the KUNKKA, you can also force out a Rolling Thunder, which is a really big cooldown for you to force, because most likely than not, once you have level 6, you're going to want to go for your boat combo. But a lot of newer Pango players won't realize that, and they're just going to instantly roll. That way they're protected from the boat, but you can easily bait that out. Other more experienced Pango players will just wait it out, and if they see that the boat is coming, then they will just Rolling Thunder and get away from it. Overall, your ultimate is not going to be very efficient against the Pango unless you're able to wait him out. You're able to wait for him to use Rolling Thunder in the side lanes, and then you're able to pick him off with a smoke. Always go and hunt the Pango when Rolling Thunder is off cooldown, because you can easily kill him with boat. He is quite squishy. He can get away from it with Swashbuckle, but if you have a stunner like Lion or any type of hold like Shadow Shaman, then you can do very good work against the Pango. Also, gank the side lanes as much as he will, or pressure the mid lane and take his mid lane tower, as Pango is going to be looking to rotate and be quite active. As a KUNKKA, you can also do the same, and again, you can always TP back to base after a long team fight when you're out of resources, and you're going to be back good as new. Also, I recommend on the KUNKKA for you to take as many stacks as possible. If the Pangolier isn't shoving in the mid wave, you should be shoving in the mid wave with Tidebringer and go to the jungle. Stack your own camps. Ask your team for ancient stacks. And if you don't have a really greedy carry or a carry that doesn't take stacks quite well, then you can take priority on those stacks, and it's going to help you get a much better Radiance timing. Or if you're trying to rush Blade Mail Aghanim Scepter, you're easily going to be able to get this timing at a much quicker pace, and at the same time, you're still able to rotate on the side lanes, and you can still keep stacking your camps every single minute. It is a really big efficiency play that a lot of players are missing out on. KUNKKA is still one of the best stack takers in the game. Tidebringer is really, really good, especially when you have Blade Mail. It just makes your life a whole lot easier. And don't underestimate the power of KUNKKA. Make sure you're taking stacks. Make sure you're using him to your full potential. And when there's nothing going on, go take some side camps, go take some stacks. That way you can keep your farm at your optimal pace, and you're going to be able to scale really hard on this hero, as Aghanim Scepter is no joke. Tidal Wave is also really nice. If you're able to play Blade playing Tidal Wave, it is really nice. Personally, I'm not that great with Tidal Wave, so I typically won't end up buying that as much, but I've seen a lot of players take really good effect of Tidal Wave, and they're able to use it to its maximum potential, and that is really cool because his shard is really nice. It's another repositioning tool you have, and it could really help you disengage against heroes that don't have BKB, and if you're just trying to help your support out, it's a very low commitment spell that you're able to use to save your teammates. And Torrent Storm is one of the best crowd control abilities. It's not going to affect the Pango if he's during the roll. You are going to help your team win these team fights. So I think overall the KUNKKA has a lot more impact than the Pango, but overall it honestly depends on what type of player is playing the Pango, what player is playing the KUNKKA. Torrent Storm, Boat, X marks the spot, Torrent, like you're gonna have just a lot more impact than the Pango will. But you need to be very careful. If the Pango is smart, he will go for a Diffusal Blade. KUNKKA's mana pool is pretty horrendous. It's pretty bad. So if you get hit with a bunch of hits with a Diffusal or a few Swashbuckles, you're going to be out of mana. And that's going to be a really big issue because all you're going to have is Tidebringer, and that's going to be a problem. That's why you have the bottle. You could also go for Soul Ring. It's just not recommended though when you're playing from mid lane. If you're playing offlane KUNKKA, Soul Ring might be good if you're facing up against an anti-mage or something like that. So you could go that route. It's just not really recommended. The water runes are just so strong that you should always be building bottle on KUNKKA from the mid lane. But as a Pango, don't sleep on going Diffusal, and then you can always go back for your Maelstrom. You can get a Gleipnir as well, and roll up is just really good. Pango's shard is really strong, so you should always consider picking that up. I don't think you should rush it, but it's always going to be nice. You can also get a Blink Dagger on Pango, that way you can reposition a lot better. And if you do focus the KUNKKA might have some issues, especially if his mana is burned, so definitely keep an eye on that and focus that. I've also seen some Pangos rushing Eul Scepter right after Diffusal. It definitely could work if it's a really good Eul Scepter game and you're going to benefit quite heavily from it. Then definitely don't sleep on that. Wind Waker is going to be your eventual upgrade, and Wind Waker is one of the best items in Dota, so you could definitely pick that up and have a lot of impact and be able to get away from very sticky situations. Let me know in the comment section below what do you guys think about this matchup. I definitely think KUNKKA wins the majority of these games, but if you're a smart Pango player, you're going to be able to burn the mana pool of the KUNKKA, and you're going to be able to do a lot of damage to him, as you do quite a bit of damage on the Swashbuckles, and the Shields Crash is nice. You can also get the Aghanim Scepter, which is always going to be really good damage. It's not a super one-sided matchup. It could definitely go either way. I think KUNKKA just provides a lot more for his team than Pango will, but they're definitely both very strong mid laners. I just definitely think the KUNKKA has the upper hand, but I would definitely like to know your opinion in the comment section below. If you guys learned something, leave a comment down below. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.